Hi everybody, welcome to Darkest Africa. Yeah, sorry, I haven't been in front of the camera for a while now, and I thought I should just give you a little bit of an update on what's happening. No stories about Rhodesia tonight. I just want to let you know that I'm well, I'm okay, despite all the mayhem that's going on around us. I've got no complaints really to talk of. Excepting to tell you that what you see now in this darkened room is what they call load shedding. This means that periodically throughout the day the electricity goes off, and it's very difficult to run a business under these circumstances, especially the kind of business that I have. There are 4 injection molding machines in this darkened room now that are standing. 3 of them have orders, but they can't run. Well, obviously there's no electricity, but more to the point, I don't have any material. Now the reason why I don't have material is because I haven't been able to collect anything for a week. There's been so much drama out on the roads. We have here in South Africa a transport system comprising mostly of what they term as minibus taxis. And these vehicles are a real menace on the road. They are driven dangerously. Very often they are in poor condition, as you can tell without even having to inspect the thing, that it's a real heap and it shouldn't be on the road. And these people drive with impunity. I mean, they force you off the road, they go down the wrong side of the road, they drive on the pavements. Traffic lights mean absolutely nothing to them. If you see one standing at a red traffic light, that would be a rarity. It's more likely that it'll just go whizzing on through. So you can imagine for yourself that we have a fair number of accidents involving these minibuses. And the authorities a little while ago decided that they would clamp down on this. Now they have the full support of the motoring public. There's no question about it. I haven't heard anybody that I know complain about the steps that the authorities have taken. And so they've started removing these things from the road, obviously within the parameters of the law. If there's something wrong with it, or the driver doesn't have a license, or they have some legal cause for removing this vehicle, they will do so. But the so-called taxi industry see it differently. They feel that they are being victimized. And of course, as soon as they have any sort of measure of dissatisfaction, they just block the roads. They'll come and they'll just drive 4 abreast, and maybe it looks like 100 taxis, maybe even more than 100, 200 taxis, blocking off an expressway or a freeway. So, you know, we've had this from time to time. It's nothing new. But this time it seems to be particularly violent. And there have been people that have died in the last few days. And as a result of that, it's been very difficult for people like myself to deliver their goods and to go and fetch materials. It's not just the question that the roads are unsafe. The suppliers themselves have no staff. The people that I buy raw material from, and a very large company, 2 big warehouses here in Cape Town, nobody's pitched up for work. They can't get to work. These people are intimidated on the road. If they are found, they are removed from the buses. The buses are set on fire. The last time I heard, I stand under correction here, I think it's something like 10 buses that have been torched, gutted, burnt out. And of course, the taxi association, you know, distances itself from this kind of thing. They say, no, it's not us, it's not our members. Well, who is it then? Every time that there's a taxi strike, we witness this kind of thing. And of course, while all this is going on, there's still Mr. Malema in the background. Now, I haven't mentioned him up to now, but I'm sure you've probably seen him on your newscasts in whatever country you'd be living. Now, this gentleman, a little while ago, I think it was last weekend, in front of a crowd of his supporters, some say between 90 and 100,000 people, started chanting to kill the farmers in the country.
Kichi, kichi, kichima, Chipran Konto, Alliance, shoot to kill, Yamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer, brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa.
I'm sure you've probably seen those clips. And this has caused an outrage amongst the Europeans. He has uttered the things before. In fact, in an interview a little while ago, he said, "We are not calling for the killing of whites, at least not for now, but I can't guarantee what's going to happen in the future." Now, this rather unsettles people when they hear things like this. And I don't even know why he should be targeting the whites, because really we're a dwindling minority in this country. There's a shopping mall nearby here. The banks are there, the barber is there. There's a big supermarket there. I go and buy the supplies for the factory there, the tea and coffee for the staff and so on. So from time to time I find myself there. There are many occasions, I must tell you, that you know, it dawns on me, hey, you know, I'm the only whitey around here. You know, the rest are all non-Europeans. But it doesn't bother me. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel threatened. It's just, you know, I'm beginning to see less and less of my kind around. Mr. Malema was taken to court a little while ago, and because this is said to have constituted hate speech. And the Equality Court, which we have in this land, in their wisdom, said, no, this is just a political song. It's just a patriotic song. How can you possibly make a connection between kill the farmer, and the farmers that are being killed? So we are told it's just a coincidence. And, you know, he of course says that he'll keep singing it as long as he wants to. Now, you know, the thing is that there are whites, particularly amongst the Afrikaner community, who are understandably, you know, quite angry about this kind of thing.
Say your say to my people, in front of my people, not in front of a half-sold out, downgraded show at FNB Stadium, and leave your incompetent TSA security at home. I want to make it clear, the boer does not fear you, nor the EFF and its dismantled structures. You cannot intimidate us. You are too desperate, and it's showing, Julius. The pendulum is heading back. The boer will rise. The boer is in control. We cannot be defeated.
And I can see a sort of a hardening of position on both sides. I mean, 20 years ago when this country moved to so-called democracy, everything, you know, we thought, let's give it a try, you know, we're here in the land, let's, you know, all give it our support. And for a while, it seemed like everything was okay. But slowly but surely, as the years have gone by, the racial issue has become more and more and more of a problem. And, you know, if you're an old white guy like myself, it's almost impossible for you to find work. If you're a younger white guy, you've got the same problem, you know. Unless you've got some sort of skill or some qualification which they can't find amongst the black people, then maybe you stand a chance. So I'm saying all this because the result of it is that white people, many of them, are leaving the country. I am hard pressed to think of a family that I know personally that doesn't have some member overseas that has already left and has settled down somewhere else, or is contemplating such a move. So, Mr. Malema, I don't know, in the end there are going to be no whites here. They're going to leave with their skills and their knowledge and their abilities, and I don't know who you're going to kill then, because they'll be gone. But, yeah, the late great Freddie Mercury once said something. He said, there is nothing in this world that I haven't done. I've done everything. Well, I can't claim that. But I think I can say that I have done some things and had some experiences that even the great Freddie Mercury hasn't. Some years ago, I ended up, in a job for, I suppose you would describe this company as a book agency. And I had to go from door to door selling children's books. That was my job. And they gave me a section of town from the N1 in Belleville, from the N1 down Durbanville Road up to the Belleville railway station. Now, for those of you who know Belleville and know Durbanville Road and know that portion of town that I'm talking about, will understand that you're not going to sell many children's books, eh? But anyway, that's my job and I've got to do it, and I've got a target that's been set to me. So on this one particular day, I've gone right down to the station. I've even walked along the platform. I've spoken to people. I've got a bag over my shoulder with a lot of children's books in, and this thing is heavy as anything, and I'm quite tired. So now I retrace my steps, but I'm on the other side of the road now, and I'm walking up along Durbanville Road, and I stop at a shop, and no, the people aren't interested. They don't want to buy any books. And I find like an alleyway, and I notice that there are some shops kind of stuck in there. So I ease my way down there. I hadn't noticed this before. There's an Indian shop. I go in there. No, he doesn't. He's not interested. I go to the other one. I don't know what it was. I think it was a laundry or something. And then on the other side of the alley, I see this flight of steps leading up to another story. So I say to myself, well, there must be some businesses up there. So I go up the stairs. I find only one door that's open. So I look inside, and there's a lady sitting behind a desk, a receptionist, I presumed. So I walked in, good morning, and I now want to explain to her the purpose of my visit there. So she nods to a door on my right and says, would you mind waiting there? So I look, and I see there's a sofa and a coffee table. Okay, so I go in there and I sit down. Now, I get that sometimes. Sometimes a receptionist doesn't feel that they can say to me, no, you can't come sell books here. And very often they'll call a manager and let him deal with it. So I ease my way into this room, and I sit down at the sofa there, and I'm quite grateful that I can just take the load off my feet for a bit. But I can't hang around there too long because, I've got stuff to do. So after a while, a rather attractive lady walks in there, and she's come to assist me. So we only exchanged a few sentences, and I see her frowning, and then it dawns on me, hey, she's just realized I haven't come to buy stuff here, I've come to sell. And moreover, and I don't know how I can put this delicately, I realized from the way she was talking that I was in the Belleville version of the House of the Rising Sun. So yeah, it was a bit awkward, and I thought, well, I better, I opened the bag, I took the books out to show her, look, I'm a genuine salesman, I'm here on this kind of business. So she looks at the books, and her face just breaks out in delight. She sits down on the sofa, she says to me, sit down. She grabs the book, she starts paging through this, and wow, she's so impressed, eh? And she said, oh, my nieces would love this. How much? So I said, well, which one do you want? She said, I'll take them all. I'll take them all. And it came to about, I don't know, $500 or something, you know, which was an awful amount of money. She says, just wait here. She goes to the lady. I can see her in the passageway at the desk. They have a quick word. Drawer is opened. Cash is handed to her. She comes to me, gives me the cash, scoops up the books. And I can't believe it. I'm so happy. So I say goodbye. I walk to the door. She comes with me to the door. I go down the stairs. She waves to me from the top of the stairs. The Indian comes out of his shop. He looks at this. She says to me, don't stay away too long, you know. Do keep in touch. And I say, yeah, thank you very much again. And I wave. And he just shakes his head at me as if to say, you know, come on, guy, you know, I mean. So I walk on down the road. And I got no more books, but I got a lot of money in my pocket. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this, okay, is because I only stayed about 3 months in that job. It was a terrible job. I can tell you a lot of stories about that place, but never mind, I won't. But why I'm saying this to you is because I learned one very important lesson there, and that is this, that there are more nice people in the world than there are bad people. Really, I mean, on any day, I suppose I would meet as many as 50 strangers to me, people that I've never met in my life before, every day for 3 months. Imagine that, you meet 50 new people. And not only do you meet them, it's not like walking past on the pavement and saying good morning, good morning. I mean, I'm trying to persuade them to buy something from me, so there's an element of conversation that's taking place. And yet, I, in all that time, met one obnoxious person, really. I can still see his face in front of me. And this was many years ago. But most of the people, by far the majority, were really nice, decent people. And I mean, that section of road, I met all sorts. I met attorneys, I met lawyers, I met a dentist, I met used car salesmen, I met business owners, I met shopkeepers, I met everybody from hobos to hookers down that road. And altogether, I would say, yeah, it's true. Most people in this world are pretty decent. They're nice people, easy to get on with, kind people. That's how I felt. That's how I found them. And I got to say, you know, here in South Africa, despite all the stuff that's going on and these terrible things that Mr. Malema is uttering, the people that I meet day to day are pretty decent. You know, stopped for petrol yesterday. Petrol attendant, they're all Africans in this country. Comes up to me, I can see he's got a little name tag there. Jose is his name. Puts the petrol in, I give him my bank card. I said, excuse me, is that Jose? Am I pronouncing it properly? Oh, no, sir, he says, Jose. I said, okay, Jose, that's a good old South African name. But I'm pulling his leg and he knows it, so he breaks out in a smile. He said, no, I'm not from South Africa. I said, where are you from? Mozambique. No. He says, I'm from the Congo. So we talk a little bit. He tells me about his family and I sympathize with him. He's been away 16 years and we chat a little bit, you know, and we wave goodbye and we go. I come here to this complex where the factory is. There are 2 security guards at the gate there, permanently on duty. They change shifts. Depending what shift it is, there's 2 of them over there. I don't know how this thing started with them. They'll come to attention and salute me as I come through the gate. You know, and for all the world, I feel like a lieutenant colonel in a staff car. But I'm just driving my old Corsa, and I salute back. Well, you're not supposed to salute in a car, but at least I put my cap on that, my RLI cap that John Van Zyl gave me, and I return the salute. And they love it, they smile. And we go through this pantomime almost every day. And, you know, there's absolutely no animosity that, that I get from these guys. They, you know, they just seem very normal, ordinary guys just trying to get along in life. When I was sitting here a moment ago talking to you, in the back of my mind, it suddenly occurred to me that in this complex, I think there must be about, I don't know, maybe about 50 units, perhaps as many as that. They're not all occupied because a lot of guys have closed up business. But now that I think of it, I'm the only white owner here. I'm the only white guy here. The rest of them are so-called colored people, and a fair number of them are black. Tonight, as I drove here to my unit, okay, the people down a few units away were just locking up to go home. There must be about 10 Africans that are employed there. It's a carpentry place. They make kitchen cupboards and stuff. And I came past them, and they were looking at me, and I gave them a wave, and they all waved back, smiling, and I came here, unlocked the place, and, you know, came inside. So I'm thinking now that the people that I meet day to day are all pretty docile, I suppose. I don't know, that almost sounds like an insulting sort of word. But I mean, they're law-abiding people, and they're just trying to make an honest buck. And that gives me hope. And I try and remember that fact, if I may put it that way. Whenever I see all this stuff on the news and the video clips that I get, they're very disturbing. And I just try to say to myself, remember, hey, most people in life are just ordinary guys just trying to get along. So, yeah, I got to stop talking, because I feel like I'm starting to waffle here. But I'm okay, and I'm happy. I have some measure of confidence. I hope that it is well placed, that somehow common sense may prevail in the end. I hope so. It's actually going to take a miracle to fix up everything that's wrong in this land. We have elections coming up next year. Man, I tell you, I pity the people that win, whether it's this government or a new government to be, because there is so much that needs to be attended to. And somebody better start sorting it out, because the situation is quite critical on some levels, particularly the supply of electricity. Oh man, that is such a difficult obstacle to get around. But anyway, enough of that. You know, sitting here in the darkness, you know, looking out, I'm reminded of that poem. I forget who the author was, the lady, I think. And she says, a couple of lines in this one verse says, and they planned and they plotted right through the night, which William could see by the candles alight. I think the poem was called 1066. So, yeah, I mentioned that because I must get back to the Jameson raid. And they certainly, the Reform Committee there in Johannesburg at that time, 1895, they certainly plotted and planned way into the night to try and overthrow the Boer Republic. So we got to get back to that, and I will do shortly. But I just thought that I'd show my face, and thank you all for your support. Thank you for your concern. It means a lot to me. I am well at this stage, at this point. I'm just very tired, But otherwise, I can't complain. So keep well, and God bless you all. And remember us in your thoughts and prayers, eh? Okay, cheers for now. Bye.